Hello everyone. In this video what I want to do is share some tips as to how to make your drawings a little more realistic. I noticed that a lot of beginning artists, and maybe those are maybe not so beginner, but still their drawings don't quite meet the level of realistic. It's maybe still has that caricature type look to it, where you have the outline of a face, you got a line around the nose, you got a line around the mouth and all that, rather than going from dark to light to dark to light and so forth, and giving things more of a 3D look. So in this video I want to just kind of give you an example of that, and then kind of share with you what you should be doing if you want to kind of make it look more 3D-ish. So roll the intro. The victim here is this gentleman. I don't know who he is. I just downloaded this photo from online. It's in color. I converted it to black and white. It's only that big, so I had to, make it bigger with an application that I have that does that. And what I want to do is just focus, let's say, on his nose. And the reason why I picked this, for example, is you can see here that if I was to draw this out dark, you can make a line come down here, come around here, come around here, come around here, all the way up here. And this is how a lot of artists or beginning artists would do it. So like I have some light sketches here, and I'm going to go ahead and, just for the benefit so you can see, you might come in here and you might say, okay, I want to I want to draw this guy's nose. So I'm going to come and draw his nose because it looks like this. Okay, and here maybe they won't do anything here as far as lines wise, because there is no hard line here to use. Anyway, so something like this. Now this is, as it sits, is kind of a sketch. It's kind of cartoonish. That's a cartoon nose, basically. You don't have to do anything more with it. It's a nose. However, some will take it and they'll come in, they'll start coloring or shading inside the lines, but yet the line remains as you see it right here. And you might have this, they might have it showing as like one video I was watching where, a talented young man, but the problem is that like his noses, you had this line that would outline the nose like this, and then he would come in and he would shade inside, whatever the shade was to be, and he would just shade inside the lines, kind of like what you would do with a coloring book. Okay, and while it's a nice piece of art, if you're trying to go for realistic, and he was, because he would call his videos realistic, and so you'd have to take it past the level of having a line, outlining the nose. That's got to go away. So again, here's another sketch, same nose, and I'm going to just kind of demonstrate what I'm talking about. So here, this dark area here is not a line, okay? It's not a line. You're going from a dark area here, and then it's getting lighter, and then lighter, and then back down darker, and then darker and darker. That's because this nose is moving closer to the light source and then coming back down and hiding from the light right here somewhat. And then it's coming back into the light, so it goes from darker back into light. So you need to see this change of shades, okay, or tones. So for example, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to draw this darker in the shade, you might say this in the shade tone. But then as you come up, you've got to go lighter. Now what I can do is I can use a lighter pencil, or I can take some pressure off of the pencil as I'm doing right now, as I'm coming up. Or I can do, which is one of my favorite ways of doing, and that's using a blending stump or some kind of a blending apparatus, which I'll show you here in a second. I'm just laying down some graphite and then kind of coming up a little bit. So I might take a blending stump like this, and starting in the darker area that has all the graphite, okay, I might start blending up and just lightening it as I go up. Now when I sketched this, I kind of marked off where the highlighted area is, and it's too dark. I need to lighten that quite a bit. I just used that HB pencil for everything, so it was a little bit on the dark side. I'm just going to get rid of that. Okay, there we go. And because I don't want any lines on here whatsoever. Everything has to be just one smooth transition to the next. All these lines need to disappear. I don't want any lines. No lines at all. It's go from dark to light. That's what it should look like. Dark to light. You see these lines that are underneath the nose, for example, that represents the bottom. Now I'm going to have to get those shaded in and then gradually lighten up as I move away from it. Because now I'm coming out from underneath into the light or lighter area. And that line should just plain disappear. You do not want to have lines unless you're drawing wrinkles, deep ones. Again, you don't want lines, so you can see how I'm using that graphite there to come on up and shade, and then go lighter and lighter as I go up higher up into the nostril of this nose here. Okay, well, that's about as far as I think I'm going to take this nose drawing. But I think I got my point here. Hopefully I got it across, that instead of having a dark line outlining, making it look like a cartoon, you want to kind of get it where you're shading and you're going gradually from dark to light, light to dark, so forth. And when I refer to gradually, I'm referring to, for example, if you do this, okay, let's say you start from dark, but then you go lighter and lighter as you pull away from the dark. And assume that that was your line when you first started from your sketch. Okay, as you're going away from that line, you're lighting up, you're going lighter and lighter as you head towards the light. Okay, and that's the same thing that you want to do with these lines. You want to get rid of it, and you want to turn them into this. You have that, or you have that. And that's the whole point. Okay? Don't draw it as a line, leave it as a line. You can draw it as a light line in your initial sketch, but then work it, blend it. Okay? You should not have just a harsh line, and get it so that it comes off the page more realistically. Okay? Anyway, thanks for watching. Please give me a thumbs up, and I hope you subscribe so that you'll be notified of all the upcoming videos. And thanks again. Bye.